talk
Also,
to
there's
you
a
guys.
Battle Royale 2, believe it or not.
Yeah, I saw
At
that.
this point, I'll believe anything.
Yeah.
There's 5 Scorpion King movies.
I was looking it up and I was like, what the hell? There's five Scorpion King movies. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Reality has been shattered.
It's just nothing makes sense.
We're living in an alternate timeline.
The darkest timeline.
There's 5 Scorpion King movies. Trump is president. It's all shithole at this
Yeah.
point.
Wouldn't it be great if we're not in the Trump timeline, that's not what the other timeline's regarded as? It's like, no, you're the Scorpion King timeline. What? Like, no, Trump is president in a lot of the other timelines, actually. The one thing that's really weird about your dimension is the Scorpion King thing. Like, 5 movies? Wow. That is just weird. Like,
What is wrong with your universe?
I can imagine Rick just going to town on, like, somebody just like... What do you mean there's 5 Scorpion King? Like, no, I mean, get your Scorpion King things, and get your shit together, Scorpion King. Get your shit and put it all into a bag and take it to the shit store and get it together. Get your shit together.
Oh, perfection.
I'm really sad. I'm really sad. I'm gonna bury the lead. I'm so sad they took Jaws away. Me and Travis, Travis just caught me one of the days doing a Jaws binge, and we were just riffing on Jaws 2, like, for the last half hour of that movie. And
It was pretty good.
And we were like, man, this movie is super easy to fucking riff on. Like, this would be a great commentary to do. And we didn't even make it to Jaws 4. Like, that would have been fucking great.
That would have been so awesome.
The shark roars in that one, Travis.
That's amazing.
Like, fucking roar. Like, it jumps out of the water and roars.
Like a lion?
Explain to me how that works.
I don't know.
What?
Okay, so this isn't Tremors 5.
No, this is Tremors 6.
6, got it.
The 5th one is Africa.
Got it.
Which this one also was filmed in South Africa.
Yeah.
I have a lot to talk about.
Okay, we'll get into it because I have almost nothing. Without further ado, and welcome to Netflix and Kill. Oh my goodness, guys, we are back. And after what was our last one? Full Metal Alchemist. Yes, I believe that was what up on the timeline here.
Bit of a rough start for that one.
Yeah, we're recording. Those of you behind the scenes, we're recording a bunch of upfronts here in the next coming week. So the order of these might get jumbled around a little bit. But that's that's behind the scenes. That doesn't matter to you. And who's explaining things that don't matter to you? Why, it's me, Nick, the Merc with a mic, and my fellow unapologist,
Travis.
And our special guest unapologist,
Patience.
Patience is back. We love having her. Patience. It has been a while. What was the last time we had you on, Patience?
Oh God. I
need a
hate
running
to
list for
say
these kind of
it,
things.
but it was Killing Ground.
Ooh.
Oh, it was Killing Ground. Okay, I remember being
Wow.
vaguely disappointed and disturbed.
And it wasn't about coffee. I was so disappointed. Killing Grounds would be a way better movie.
But
I would love to watch a movie about killer coffee grounds, and just watching all the coffee morning addicts being wiped out in the morning, and just so few of us would be left alive.
That actually sounds more like a Goosebumps episode, to be honest.
Tea drinkers would inherit the world. But no, we are not talking about that film. We are talking about Tremors 6, A Cold Day in Hell.
Ah, yes, that's way better.
So, Patience, this was your pick. You wanted to watch this for some reason. Would you like to describe that reason and the plot of Tremors 6?
oh man, I did not really want to watch this, but we're kind of doing like a summer fun thing.
Well,
man.
So a more behind the scenes thing. I wanted to do a June prune fish fry sort of thing with our upcoming new movie picks. Some of them are going to be water related, but fucking Netflix took away all the Jaws movies all of a sudden, like just a month or two ago.
Disappointing.
And so without Jaws 4 to review, it would have been like we'd have to review 47 Meters Down again. And I did rewatch that movie, and it's not terrible or anything, but the ending's really dumb. And I don't think I have more to say on it. Or it's the Sharknado movies, and I'm like, without Michael Caine here, it just wouldn't be the same.
Funny enough, that was the night we met for the first time. We reviewed 47 Meters Down together.
Oh yeah,
and
you're right. I keep forgetting that is that we met under shark circumstances.
Yeah, and I hated that movie.
You really hated that movie, and I thought it was okay with a dumb ending.
Yeah, I did not like that movie at all. And then I looked at what we had going on Netflix, which surprisingly does not have a lot going on for like summer fun, fish related stuff. They didn't even have open water or anything.
No open water, no Anaconda, no Lake Placid.
Ugh, come on, guys, give us something.
Killing me.
We did bond a little bit over searching because every time I would search for something, patients would message me, "Oh, they don't even have this," and I'm like, "I just looked for that." Horror movie kismet.
I know, great minds. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this was kind of a default pick for me.
So you basically found the bottom of the barrel and came up with Tremors 6.
So June is going to be a creature feature for us, guys. It'll be some creature features. So
I'm excited. So basically, it begins. We have Michael Gross is back as Bert Gummer, and then Goomer, and his son Travis, who is played by Jamie Kennedy. Not you, Travis, the other Travis. And so they're called by some sort of Canadian Arctic team that have discovered graboids in their area. And so they go up there to kick their asses, kick all the graboid asses, and hijinks ensue.
So... Okay, yeah, and then for those of you who are unaware of the Tremors franchise...
That'd be me.
And this is interesting because, Patience, how many of the Tremors films have you seen?
I've seen at least 3.
Okay, so I'm the only one that has seen all 6 at this point.
I should probably preface, this is the first one I've seen.
And the TV series I've seen.
Yeah, this is the first one I've seen, so this is baseline for me now.
This is for you.
This is good. That way, when I introduce him to the first Tremors and we work our way, upwards, it'll be like he'll be like, oh, well, this film's way better than the other one. Like, this is great. It's a great palate cleanser for Travis because I don't think the original Tremors films is his cup of tea anyway.
Probably
but
not.
I think it'll be a lot better in comparison.
Then again, I am still the one that picked Cowboys versus Dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you picked that more to punish us, I think.
I think so too.
About it.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
You also picked Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
I didn't pick that one.
No, didn't we? No, Ian picked that one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
you picked Spawn.
Yeah, remember, I've lost my privileges since Spawn.
Yeah.
You mixed up Spawn with Batman, which I don't know how you do, Patience. That's ridiculous.
That's almost insulting.
It was the nipples.
The gripples.
They one of them has bat nipples, one of them has grappling hooks for nipples. It's confusing. I don't. Oh, what are we talking about? Tremors 6.
Oh, Tremors. Oh, God.
So yeah, I've never seen a single other Tremors movie. So this is basically setting up my expectations for the whole rest of the series.
So the Tremors films, they start off with the first one. It's a great creature feature starring Kevin Bacon, and Michael Gross is the only character that ever returns for all of them. They keep expanding mythology. In the first film, they're subterranean worm creatures that have like snake tongues that they're like sharks on land. They're like land sharks, which is why I thought they were really cool. Plus, you can save on the budget by not having to show them almost all the time.
Right, you just need to show some dirt moving.
Yeah, it's a really smart creature feature to be complete. I really respect that first movie. And then afterwards they expand on them with the Shriekers in number 2. Aftershocks, and then Tremors 3, Back to Perfection, which introduces ass blasters, which are the flying variety.
Why do they call them ass blasters again?
Because they fly via gaseous chemicals that they expel from their ass via explosions to take off.
Why wouldn't I realize that?
And then in 4, they introduce baby graboids, and they take it back to the Old West. So they like to introduce new elements all over these things. So that's what keeps it fun for me. And so for this one, they take it to the Arctic. And
Except they don't.
well, oh boy, this is vaguely insulting to me. So when they go to Africa, they at least show African animals. Like they have Michael Gross stand off with a lion, and then they show the Serengeti a little bit. And when this movie starts, it starts off like The Thing or something, where everyone's out in like this huge snowdrift, and then Graboid comes out and eats the shit out of like this surveillance team or whatever the hell it is. And I'm like, okay, cool. Graboids in snow. Like, that's different.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we can have, like, an avalanche, or maybe they're slightly different because they have to survive and move in snow, or something.
Camouflage.
Maybe it's easier, like, it's easier because later they get to see via heat sensors from the ass blasters and the shriekers. And, like, maybe they have to use that for the cold. Maybe they have to, like, lower their body temperature, but it's dangerous. None of that shit happens.
In fact, the snow doesn't happen.
In fact, they go out of their way in the plot of the movie to describe how fucking hot it is in Antarctica, and is like, oh, we're in a heat wave, and there's no snow around. Like, even Michael Gross is like, where's the fucking snow? and it's like, yeah, we're in the middle of this big heat wave, and that's why none of us are wearing parkas, and why, like, we all kind of look even a little bit hot.
Yeah. No, they actually do start, like, taking off clothing after a while.
And Patience, you were saying that where was this film shot?
Yeah, this is one of the most annoying things for me about this movie. It was shot in South Africa. And I'm just thinking to myself that was a terrible decision on the director's part, Don Michael Paul, who's basically, all he does is like really terrible sequels to what were once good movies. But yeah, so I question the decision, because what they decided to do, instead of actually filming in a snowy place, I'm sure there's plenty of cheap snowy places, including actual Canada.
Yeah, or Wisconsin, come here.
Or Wisconsin. And so what they did was that opening sequence with the quote-unquote snow is actually sand from the desert that they just applied 1,000 filters to.
Wow.
And then they decided to film the whole entire movie with like this blue filter to make it feel like it was cold and
That's
not.
That's why everything's fucking blue.
Yeah.
In fact, there's even on the trivia for IMDb, it says, the color blue's in almost every scene. Yeah, no fucking shit.
I did look at, I was looking at the IMDb trivia, and I was like, yeah, there's blue in every shot. There's a blue filter over the entire fucking movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, I just feel like, okay, so instead of actually filming in actual Canada, you just decide to do this, CGI blue filter, CGI snow, and then try and pretend like everyone's not quite cold. I don't get it. And then they try and pass off like, actors that are clearly of African descent as I think they're supposed to be like Aboriginal.
Right.
So it was just super weird. The choices that were made in this film, it just baffled me. Absolutely baffled me.
Yeah, I think the one guy was supposed to be in Eskimo or something, right?
Yeah, and he was clearly, I believe, either African or Aboriginal Australian descent. So, I mean, which that isn't even that's not even a big deal to me, other than the lack of snow.
Yeah, so, oh boy. I mean, this is kind of my worst nightmare for when we do Netflix and Kill, in the fact that this movie is bad in a way that is just kind of boring.
Yep.
And there's, like, I actually don't, as much as I make fun of movies or have my little jabs at them, I don't really like trashing movies the entire time. And I don't really have much to say other than just nitpicks and stuff like this, because I don't really...
This movie's trash.
I mean, Bert is cool. Like, I still like Bert in this. The dialogue in this is all just these weird one-liners.
And, like, they're one-liners that they're only conversing in one-liners, but they don't make sense in any context.
They're all these, like, weird expressions, like, like, what's good for the Graboid is good for the Gummer, and I'm like, wait a minute, does that even make sense in the context of the situation that you're talking about? Because he's about this virus. Oh yeah, Bert has this weird virus that has only infected him because he's the only one who's been eaten by a Graboid in one of the movies and spit back out. So he has this virus that's affecting him that they have to grab a graboid alive by a certain point, and what's it? They have to like grab it alive and
get his mucus sac out of it,
and excrete and extract this shit out of it so that they can save Bert. And at first, I was thought like, oh, Bert's having PTSD, like because of his long, almost never-ending fight with the Graboids. And I thought that was pretty interesting, but no, it's just this virus.
I thought he might be actually turning into a Graboid. Like I thought it was like a were-Graboid.
Like you were,
because they kept showing him like shaking around and like having like a seizure, but like also seeing vision. So I'm like, okay.
But by the full moon's light and the Graboid's bane scent, you will become a Graboid in the middle of the night.
It would have made a better movie.
So, yeah, and then, like, there's just these just weird fucking lines of dialogue they have. Like, the whole conversation that when Bert is introduced with the tax man that shows up.
Yeah, that was weird.
And, of course, Bert has always been shown as this doomsday prepper sort of guy. And, you know, big on, like, he just doesn't trust the government. And, you know, like, he's supposed to be shown as like kind of like the right wing sort of gun nut, and that joke I guess is just not as funny in today's climate as it was back in the 90s, where it was clear we were supposed to be making fun of him. Because I don't know how you read it, Patience, because in the original movie I thought Bert was like, it was funny because he's a doomsday prepper that is like, oh shit, he actually turned out to be right about like not about anything he was prepping for, like the government or nuclear annihilation or anything like that, but these totally random monsters come in and fuck up his shit because he's like, even as prepared and paranoid as he wasn't even crazy enough to believe in monsters. Like that's the whole joke. And now they have him basically be this straight up monster fighter. I don't know. What was your take on Bert in this movie, Patience?
I mean, I really, really wanted to like him, I guess. Because in the first movie, was he not married to Reba McEntire in the first movie?
Yes.
Or am I just imagining that?
No, they were a great couple in the first movie, but for whatever reason, she didn't come back for any of the sequels.
Whatever reason, I could think of quite a few reasons.
Well, they got some other people back. They never got Kevin Bacon back until the TV series that they canceled, which looked awesome, which was fucking too bad.
I was super excited for that.
So,
but, I mean, yeah, Michael Gross, I really wanted to like him, but I feel like with, you know, he was great in the first movie. Again, like you said, he was just more of a doomsday prepper that just happened to be prepared for like this, you know, monster showdown. And he was like, this is my time. This is my time to shine. And then now he's evolved into this like really over the top caricature of himself to the point where it's like almost annoying. Like, I don't know if it was really bad acting. I just think it's the dialogue is so terrible. I feel like the dialogue was written by a 12-year-old, you know, some junior high kid that's like, oh, this is really funny. Guinness Book of Balls. Oh, you know, it was so basic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The writing on it is just so, the effort is not there. Like, they have a guy, like, they repeat certain elements from some of the previous movies, especially the first movie, like, the water, like, the one, in the first movie, a character distracts the Graboids by, putting a leak in a water tower, and then the water makes, vibrations in the ground, and they repeat that here with someone peeing, because that's funny. And then they have to try and communicate via Bert's weird euphemisms for fucking everything. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, take out the dog and let it bark, or whatever the fuck he was trying to say. And it's like, what are you saying? And I'm like, yeah, what are you saying?
Yeah, like,
I haven't heard half of these euphemisms that you're using. And it's like, or these weird secondhand expressions or whatever the hell they are. And I don't know what's going on. The characters that they introduce aren't very interesting. Except for like the one exception is the Hammer or whatever his name is. Swackhammer.
Swackhammer.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I like Swackhammer because he's so over the top that at least he's like attempting something. Like he's so fucking nuts, and he's like naming the Graboid after his fucking ex-girlfriend, and it's like
Stacy Soul Crusher,
and it's really personal, and you can tell there's way more behind it than normal.
I think he killed Stacy.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Like he was like psychotically.
A lot of weird people live in the Arctic. And then, of course, there's the weird soundtrack choices of like, hey, remember when the Graboids were supposed to be threatening? Well, here's a scene of one guy fending one off to Mustang Sally. So try and undercut that tension.
Let's not forget the weird supposed villain of this movie.
Yeah,
there was that. Oh gosh, I can't even remember his name. I was so bored. Dr. Cuts, Agent Cuts, and he was like had this really stupid I think it was like a ridiculously over the top Southern accent, and I was just like, is he trying to like conjure his inner Dr. Evil or something? He was just so bland as a villain. And then he disappeared for long periods of time, and you're just like, what happened to that guy? Where'd he go? They don't even explain it.
Yeah, ever since 3, they've added an element of like the government guys or some human antagonist that they have to fight alongside the Graboids, and like they're never very well fleshed out or thought out. And yeah, I think one of my big problems too is we haven't even talked about the effects of this movie, and I hate the CG Tremors. I'm not about CG Tremors. Or Graboids, I should say. I don't like those or the CG ass blasters. They redesigned them for ever since the African one, and I'm not. They redesigned them to make them look meaner and like cooler looking. They're jaggedier or whatever. And I like the puppets from the first like 4, and then even then they were using some spotty CGI in those ones too. But at least some of the practical effect work was pretty cool in those. The snakes can now detach from the Graboids. Is also like I don't know if they established that in this one, but it happened in 5. And yeah, they are just like playing really fast and loose with the rules now. I haven't seen a Shrieker in 2 or 3 movies now. So like, I just don't think there's a lot more to explore with this franchise. If they're not willing to at least, I mean, they aren't even doing the whole taking a vacation with the concept premise right of where like, oh, we'll go into the snow in this one, except there's no snow. It's like, well, what the fuck?
Well, apparently I did read this that, I guess their original plan was to shoot in Bulgaria, where there was going to be snow, except apparently there was too much snow. They actually had suffered like the worst, one of their largest blizzards in decades, so they're like, we'll just go back to South Africa, I guess.
That's interesting. Yeah, still, I feel like that there was other places with like a medium amount of snow.
Like any amount of snow.
Like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We have lots of snow. In fact, 2 months ago, we had the largest blizzard in like known, like remembered history, so yeah.
We also have Valerie McKee in this movie.
Oh, Jesus.
Who is the daughter of Val, Kevin Bacon's character, and Rhonda, which is Finn Carter's character from the original 1990s Tremors. Which, holy shit, 1990s? That this film franchise is as old as us.
That's sad.
Great. So yeah, she does stuff in this. She's a character that does things.
I mean,
she has lines that she says.
Yeah, I mean, she almost has. It's shocking how she has no impact on me either way as a character. I don't dislike her. I don't like her. I feel nothing about her.
I kind of feel like that was
either way.
Movie.
I mean, we're supposed to like her because it's like, oh, I'm a Graboid expert, and here I can load a gun and do these things. I love me, Bert, love me. I'm like your surrogate daughter. Also, we didn't even mention Jamie Kennedy being in this fucking thing.
Dude, Is he, like, okay?
I don't know about Jamie Kennedy. My initial reaction is no, I don't think he is very okay.
He looks like fucking shit.
I just think, yeah, I mean, I don't want to assume anything, but he looks like a guy who is just one cocaine weekend away from being picked up by the cops. Like, his whole scatterbrained look is just, like, concerning to me.
He's going, like, full Randy Quaid.
Oh, boy. You don't want to go full Randy Quaid.
No.
You don't want to do that.
I don't even know. I mean, I'm surprised he was able to deliver his lines on set because the man looks terrible. I know that he had some heart problems in the past, and he does have a pacemaker. But that doesn't explain the full, like, I mean, they couldn't even cover up the puffy alcoholic face, but I assume that he's not going to listen to this, right?
I mean,
you never know with these things.
He might not have anything else to do, so you might be in trouble. I think,
Sorry,
the last major film he was in was Son of the Mask, I think.
Really?
Yeah. You remember him in that one?
No. I don't remember that movie at all, though, so it's fine.
And, yeah, so he is Bert's son in this one. That was the big reveal of the last movie, is that Bert has a son that he had with a hippie in Florida or something. And, yeah, it's just not very important at all. Like, they try and play up the father-son dynamic a little bit of, like, Bert being stubborn and
I didn't even realize this until, like, halfway through the movie. Like, oh, he's a son?
Yeah,
I didn't get that.
They rarely have, like, they don't really mention it a whole lot. And I'm not a huge, I mean, this isn't actually the worst I've ever seen Jamie Kennedy. He's actually not doing a horrible job, but it's still, like, Jamie Kennedy, so I'm not really excited about seeing him. Oh boy, I mean, what are we at, like, damn it, we're at 27 minutes.
I don't think we're going to whiff for much longer, dude.
There's definitely a point where you're just questioning, like, what were they thinking in some of these decisions that they're making as far as screenwriting is concerned? And I agree with you 100%. Like, there's a ton of characters in this movie. There's a ton of people. And I would say that not even the main characters, which are Michael Gross and Jamie Kennedy, are fully fleshed out. Like, everyone is just so bland and takes, like, such a background role that you just don't even care about them. And you don't even want any of them to live. At one point, like, one of the main doctors, she's, like, grabbed by a graboid, or might have been a shrieker, and then everyone's just, like, standing there.
Yeah, they don't do anything.
Yeah. That's the problem when you have CG creations, that these actors don't know how to act in front of them, or react in any way that's realistic.
Exactly. The one thing that I did like about this movie, and I think that it's a classic Tremors, thing, is when they do blow up the graboids and, like, the gore that comes out and just, like, the gross graboid,
cool orange stuff.
Yeah, the gross graboid inside. Or we'll talk about that in the spoilers, but that is, like, classic Tremors, and that I'm glad they at least kept, because that made it a little bit more, like, interesting and fun in a movie that's clearly just not entertaining. And so I'm questioning some of my colleagues at oneofus.net's opinions right now, because they're like, oh, it's a really fun movie, it's totally great. And I was like, okay, I'll totally give it a watch. And now I'm mad.
I mean, I have an internal bias, because, I am an easy lay for this type of movie. Yeah. Like, I really am, like, I don't judge these movies very harshly at all. But this movie doesn't really show us anything new from the Tremors franchise, and the CGI is just so shitty. Like, it's just, I mean, there's not even any puppet work anymore, or any practical effects with the graboids. And I'm kind of like, but that was, like, the fun part of it, of how, like, they were, like, goofy monsters, and, like, I don't know. I guess that just makes me a little bit sad.
They should have saved on CG and actually hired actors who wanted to try acting.
I mean, I don't think any actor could have acted, like, you need a higher level caliber of actor or director to work with stuff that isn't there to make that convincing. So I think any money you would invest in making a practical effect would really help you out in a very big way.
Along with the same line as that one doctor who just like got taken out and no one did anything. Same thing with the guy who was doing like the peeing off the balcony or the tower. Mm-hmm. Why did he stay there for like the whole movie? Like he got stuck up there once, and then even when the rest of them were running away, he stayed there. I'm like,
he never really. Yeah.
Why did you stay there?
He doesn't really move at all, and I question that as well. And I'm just like, I don't know what the hell, or maybe I thought it was the question of like the sequence of shooting of like the day on the shoot of what was happening is what I could come up with.
And he was just dumb because they had like this one doctor character who I don't remember why they needed him, but they needed him, but he was a pansy ass bitch, and for some reason tried to run away from these creatures that can sense movement.
With a suitcase.
Dr. Freeze?
Dr. Suitcase.
Or what was his name?
Fraser.
Freeze.
Yeah.
Don't confuse him with me. That guy is lame. Fuck him.
He was pretty lame.
Yeah, and then, even in that, and they're in the plane, and it's like the first time they're fighting an ass blaster in a plane in any of these movies. And it's like no one knows where to look out the windows, and you can tell that.
Yeah, they're just like, no, where is it?
Like, holy shit, we have like an ass blast, and everyone's looking out in a different direction in the windows, and it's like, come on, guys, like you can't even tell. The director can't even tell them the ass blaster is to the left or whatever, or like it's pretty ridiculous, bare bones of an effort here, and they're really just trotting out this franchise at this point, and I'm not really excited. The trailer for the TV series looked pretty neat, actually. I thought that was actually kind of interesting, and if they could rope in Kevin Bacon, there must be at least something to it. But I really think here is just that Michael Gross needs something to do on the weekends.
Yeah, this is how he bought his boat.
Yep.
God, this movie came out this year.
I did not see Tremors 6, but I did see The Boat It Bought Me.
I just can't believe a movie of this quality came out this year. Because I'm like, really? You could tell this thing was from '97. I'd believe you.
And it's a Netflix original. But I mean, come on, the director from the man who brought you the Scorpion King Book of Souls, Death Race 4.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, Sniper Ghost Shooter.
Did you say Scorpion King and then another movie after it? Or is that a colon signifying there's another Scorpion King movie?
There's another Scorpion King movie in post-production as we speak.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go throw up.
I refuse to believe that. There is not another Scorpion King movie.
Yeah. He did Lake Placid, the final chapter. I didn't even know they made more than one.
They started making more of them a little bit back for the Sci-Fi Channel and stuff like that.
Kindergarten Cop 2.
Oh no, the one with Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's just sad.
He's made 2 snipers. Jesus.
Also a Taken movie.
Yep.
Taken: The Search for Sophie Parker.
Oh, dear Lord. That is. I have no idea.
I don't. That's got to not be the Taken I'm thinking of.
Oh, it's like TV movie. Never mind.
Still.
Holy shit! There's 4 Scorpion King movies.
What?
There's like 4 of them.
How does that even happen? Who does this?
This one came out in like 2015. It's just that I don't understand.
No, that's just not possible.
I'm so confused. Like, what is with these fucking like mid-2000s franchises that don't seem to die? Okay, but yeah, that distraction out of the way. Is there anything else we wanted to mention about Tremors 6: A Cold Day in Hell?
God, no.
Let's not watch it again.
I feel really, really bad for the actress that had to make out with Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, that was a weird relationship, right?
Like, I'm attracted to you, but why?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that not even any lead up to that. Tanya Van Gran,
like a bonus or something,
and she has been in stuff like the Starship Troopers 3 Marauders.
Oh God! Wait, how many Starship Troopers movies are there?
I think there's only 3, and I have watched those. I know those exist.
First one.
Oh, if you don't count the animated ones that they've made so far, which I've also watched, there's like 2 of them.
Maybe that'll be something that we can do in the future. Netflix, get on your shit.
No, it's on Hulu right now as with Trader of Mars. But
Hulu and Kill. Nope, that doesn't quite have the ring to it.
No.
Hulu and Voodoo. I'm not adverse to it.
Hoodoo.
Oh my God, you see that the fourth Scorpion King movie is the Scorpion King 4, Quest for Power?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So
Quest
this is
for
going to
Peace.
be
It's taken. Damn it. Okay, so we have to get off the Scorpion King thing.
There's 5 of them. There will be 5 of them at the end of this year. I cannot get off of that.
Okay, I am baffled and very fascinated as well, but we have to keep on focus here.
Why? It's Tremors 6.
You think I don't want to talk about the possible Scorpion King movies? Like, as a whole franchise, can it just go under the radar, under my nose? No, I'm very curious about that. But we're talking about the shitty Tremors movie. Oh, should we mention Bert's hat out of nowhere? Like, everyone keeps talking about his hat.
Yeah.
Because he changed his sports team hat. He had an Atlanta Hawks hat, I think, on in the first couple movies. And then he's changed it. I think the
Cubs, right?
Yeah, and Michael Gross changed it because to reflect his home team or whatever. And everyone keeps asking about, like, did you switch teams? Like, no, just the hat. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense.
That's not how that works.
What kind of joke is that? Like, we live in a sports town in Green Bay, and you don't just, like, wear, like, a Vikings hat and go, like...
I mean, unless you want to be stabbed in the street.
And it's like, and then it was like, whoa, what the fuck are you wearing the hat for? You root for the Vikings? And it's like, no, I'm just wearing the hat. And it's like, no, you don't wear the hat if you don't root for the team. Like, that doesn't make a goddamn sense. So that was, like, their idea of a running joke. I did want to bring up here. You want to look up in the quotes section?
There's no quote section.
There's no quote section.
There's literally no quote section.
Damn it! I wanted to find some of the expressions that they used because they're so bad that they actually left my brain. Patience, do you remember any of them?
I even looked up on the wiki, and there's no quotes. Like the internet has just erased this movie from existence. Just will not do it.
Rubbed it. Yeah, yes. I can't. There was only the one that I had written down about the Guinness Book of Balls. That was the only
Guinness
one.
Book of Balls.
They're very obsessed with that.
He's like trying to have like this pep talk with, I think, was it Freezy, who is like paralyzed with fear by the Graboid coming at him, and so he's trying to give him this pep talk, and he's like, "You have a giant set of balls. Yeah. You have the Guinness Book of World Records set of balls." Like trying to and he's like, "I have giant balls," and it was just so dumb.
Yeah, and there's like 1,000 of them, and I can't remember. It's
because they're all nonsensical.
I can't believe it because I groaned at every one. You'd think I remember one of them. I did want to do a fun thing here, and I know we're just stealing from another podcast at this point. Which how did this get made? But shut up.
Shut up.
I don't have much to talk about this movie. So, would you like to hear from some of the Amazon Prime people? Because this movie surprisingly has a pretty good rating among Amazon Prime users.
Why?
Oh, yes.
I don't know. Is IMDb? It's at like a 5 out of 10. Like it's like
higher than I want.
It's pretty well. You got to figure there was like 21 reviewers on IMDb, so one guy giving it a 10 could have just fucked the curve.
That's fair.
But there's some here, and I wanted to read some of my favorite ones here that were pretty good. So here's okay. Here we go. By Donna Miholan, titled "Good Film to Watch Later at Night." Thank you for telling me when to watch the movie. Don't tell me what to do,
Don't
Donna.
tell me what to do. I wasn't where I fucking want.
Fuck it. She says, "Have seen all the Tremors movies over the years. This video is the better of the rest, except for the first one. Same plot, same Bert with his guns and bombs, but the acting was good, storyline was good, and the story had a couple of twists in it, and of course, it had its sad and funny times. 5 stars."
Wow, bitch. Wow.
That's not all. Randy Bronan.
I'm just gonna let you know right now, but all of these are going to, on their own, lower my score for this movie. Just to let you know.
Let's see how low it can go.
Okay.
Yes, I liked it, but this one's titled, "Yes, I liked it, but the HK9 one was an FN in a ... His title is the same as his review. Like, he threw the whole review into the title, which is not even how that works, but whatever, Bronin. He says, yes, I liked it, but the HK-9 was an FN in a couple of scenes, a couple of screens, which I'm assuming he's talking about the gun there.
Yeah.
3 steps to an ass blaster, 1 graboid, 2 screecher, 3 ass blaster. What happened to step 2, Okay, yes, there are several good-looking ladies in the movie. Town of Perfection was missing! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Maybe I should write the next movie. 5 stars.
Okay.
Randy, I nominate you.
Yeah,
I
go
want to
for it,
see
dude.
what you write. I really do. Grammar mistakes and all. Okay, here we go. I love this type of movie, says Amazon customer. That's his name. I've been watching this since day 1. Keep making more of this movie. 5 stars. Cap half beard on, which is a great name, by the way, says, if you explore the franchise past Tremors 2, you will be right at home with this one. More of the same, and that's a good thing! Exclamation point. 5 stars. And here's like my favorite one out of all of them is, the title is Not As Good as the 5th movie, sadly. Not as good as the 5th movie, sadly, and obviously no like the first movies. But if you're a Tremors fan, buy it and add it to your movie collection when the price goes down to $5 or $8.
There's some
5 stars.
They're assuming it's ever going to be above $5. That's pretty sad.
Steven, I don't think you get how the 5-star rating system works.
Maybe they're thinking it's golf?
You still understand.
And I like his it's $5 or $8. Either one.
5 or 8. 5 to 8. Like, it's just, not 6. Don't buy when it's 6. That's the wrong number. 5 or 8.
Yeah, ludicrous.
Those are the magic graboid numbers. So yeah, well, I'm glad someone got some enjoyment out of this movie. That makes me smile. Is there anything we wanted to mention before we go into probably the most briefest spoiler section we have ever done?
No.
Everyone good? Okay, cool. Straight ratings then. I'm pretty sure, I can't tell if this one is my least favorite out of the franchise between 5 and 6. It probably is, because it doesn't even do anything with the location that they were supposed to be using, which is the snow. And at least, there's lions and shit in Africa, so in the Africa one, so there's that. So yeah, I think this is probably the weakest one out of the entire franchise, out of the 6 movies. I'm gonna give it 1 out of 5. I don't really think it has that much value in the watch, especially if you've already watched the other Tremors movies, because there's really nothing for you to get out now. Yeah, I didn't like it. There, what do you... Sorry, I can't bring myself to really put it to an eloquent point of what's wrong with this movie, or, a usual metaphor of what I like to do, because I got nothing, guys. It's just not even worthy of the time to put into a proper metaphor. So, yeah.
Well, I can tell you what's exactly wrong with this movie. It exists.
One whiskey moonshine smuggling pilot out of 5, because I did like her too. I forgot that I actually found her character kind of funny.
Yeah, but she's still also only spoken like one-liners.
Mm-hmm. Travis, how about you?
You know my feelings of this movie.
I know your feelings, but I don't know your number rating. I can't remember your scale rating.
It doesn't change. It stays the same.
I know, but it's so long. It's out of 10, and I can't remember any of the 10.
Yeah, this movie is bullshit. Like, I wasn't interested in watching any of the Tremors movies to begin with, and then Nick decides to show me the worst one. So I'm like, thanks for that. That's just grand old time there.
Well, Netflix doesn't have the first 4. What do you want from me?
To not watch a Tremors movie.
Boy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it, let's see here, 2 Scorpion King sequels out of 10. Because it was so boring. Like, at least, I'm a person that can multitask, and I was not multitasking in this movie. I just plain wasn't watching this movie.
Oh, no. Don't disvalue your opinion like that. You were watching it somewhat. Patience, would you like to give your thoughts?
That's funny you would say that, Travis, because I found myself, like, usually I'm always, like, doing something while I'm watching the countless number of movies I watch for Deliberations of Doom.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm on my phone or whatever, but I just had such a hard time paying attention to this movie, and I'm like, oh shit, I totally, like, missed a whole entire part, and I would rewind it, and then I would drift off again. It was so hard to pay attention because it was so boring. And finally, at one point, I was like, I just have to put my phone down. Otherwise, I am totally not going to get any of this.
That's fair.
So it was just, you know, and I'm the kind of person that I always try and find one redeeming factor, you know, at least something that I can be positive about with movies. And I had a really hard time coming up with one for this, other than the classic Tremors, you know, blowing up the Graboids. That was probably the only thing that I liked.
Only time they used practical effects.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, I just think, like I mentioned before, I feel like this movie was, you know, written and created by like a junior high, you know, school class that just thought that they were making funny jokes and doing cool stuff and making gross things that, oh, it's not funny, but it ends up being bland and dull. And I give it 1 anti-nausea medications that the girl had to take when she made out with Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
Out of 10.
So, yeah, thanks you guys for listening to this one. It was an excruciating experience, so hopefully you guys appreciate it. Patience, I'm just happy that we all agree on a movie.
Yeah.
That's such a rare occurrence.
And I still actually blame Nick more for this one than you, because it's his whole plan for this creature feature thing.
This might have been, like, it was either this or Sharknado, and I don't know which one would have been worse. I mean, my heart would have been it wouldn't have been in Sharknado because I have been off just thinking about Jaws. So it's we just blew right by us agreeing with Patience because we had so much to kvetch about. And I do appreciate that we do have the same taste in some things, and we got to bond over what movies that Netflix didn't have on there and what a travesty was. So I'm glad that Patience and I got to bond over that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So
it was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah, we didn't, for those of you listening, we normally do the commentaries for our Patreon for the Netflix and Kills, and we didn't do one for this one.
I'm kind of glad we didn't.
I had watched it previously, so I knew we weren't going to get a lot out of it. So I was like, we'll skip it, and we have 2 movie pass or fails coming up, one on the movie Upgrade and one on Solo for this week. So if you'd like to donate to our Patreon in any way, that is available at any subscription level. So go over to our Patreon page at unapologeticgeekout /patreon.com or Patreon /unapologeticgeekout. It's one of those. It's one of those reverse it. And yeah, or just follow us and check out some of our other back catalog of our regular episodes on iTunes, including our regular show, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast, or our previous Netflix and Kills. We've done a lot with Patience. Yay! If you enjoyed hearing her on here, you can go back and check out some of our ones with her, including Spawn and Killing Grounds and Before I Wake and some other Thomas Jane stuff, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, Patience, would you like to tell the people where they can find you?
Absolutely. You can find me on the Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. It's prof.patience. I'm also have a little podcast called Deliberations of Doom. And I also sometimes appear on oneofus.net's Highly Suspect reviews as well as The Gathering. So check us out there.
That is great. We are going to take a small musical break. from this
From this film, yes.
And we will come back after a whiskey shot right after this. And welcome to the spoiler section for Netflix and Kill, Tremors edition, Cold Day in Hell. Okay, so I guess there's a couple things I do want to touch on. Okay. One being that there is a neat scene that I do like near the end of this where they defeat one of the last Graboids by making a lot of noise. Mm-hmm. And they have like this cool like everyone bashing on stuff scene of like, and it looks like a metal, like it wouldn't be out of place with a metal music video or something. And like that was amusing me during that scene of them all just going to town and overacting, just like going crazy on all this. Like one person's hitting an anvil with like a gun, and Bert's got this huge jackhammer thing that I don't know what the purpose for that machine is. Like, I just, it looks super weird, but, like, strangely phallic. And
he was enjoying himself, too.
Yeah, I mean, and then the one drunk pilot had this chainsaw that she was, like, holding, like, Metallica style of just, like, going over the railing. I was surprised sparks weren't showering from all over the place. So I was like, I'd like beating the Graboids. I like anything where they're beating the Graboids via clever use of like sound and stuff like that.
Oh, we didn't even mention the fact that they made an electric fence for him.
Yeah, like with like actual worm hunting, which was kind of neat. Like I don't think they've done that in the previous films either. No, wait, they did do that in number 5. Like they did a similar thing in 5.
Take your word on it.
So yeah, that's the only thing that reminded me of the first couple movies where they had to be kind of clever about, you know, finding solid rock and you know, using the Graboids' weaknesses against them, sort of thing. And then we have to Bert, of course, is having the seizures or whatever from the weird virus that he has. He can't go on anymore. Jamie Kennedy has to take on the mantle and save Bert. He has this weird thing where he quotes a bunch of Bert lines. They quip a couple more. They come up with a plan that makes no sense of like them baiting the Graboid via airplane hook, which I was like, what? And then pulling it into a giant like what do you call it? Like this trailer sort of thing.
Yeah, like a cargo container.
Yeah, and so then they have like the crowbars in front of it, and they have to like get rid of the tongues to get into its mouth, and then they attack it one at a time for no reason.
Yeah, they just literally stand in line, like, all right, you go at it. Oh, okay, go back up, rally.
And I'm like, guys, they're just like, there's 3 tongues. Rush them,
yeah.
Like, and then they cut they cut them off or whatever.
And even Bert basically feels the same way because he just like wheels out and with this catheter and just blasts the tongues off.
Mm-hmm. And then we got the Michael Gross
ass shot. Yeah, and even someone in the movie goes like, I didn't need to see that. So I'm like, yeah, no one needed to. And yeah, we have Jamie Kennedy goes into the mouth of the Graboid to go and grab the antitoxin or whatever. I hope they used it on him because that's how Bert got infected the first time. So hopefully they saved a dose for Jamie Kennedy too.
Who cares?
And yeah, like I mean, even thinking about it, just this slow acting dormant virus or whatever is stupid too. I don't understand why it wasn't PTSD. PTSD would have been more interesting.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a virus, it was a parasite. They mentioned that it was a parasite. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay.
And yeah, so that works out. The weird government guy somehow made it all the way to the end. Makes him a deal where he doesn't have to pay the tax stuff anymore from the first part of the movie that we've all basically forgotten about.
Clearly in exchange for the live Graboid.
Yeah, and then once the deal is signed, they blow up the Graboid via the most explosive toy plane I've ever seen. How much explosive could they fit on that fucking plane? Because it blows up real good. And they're like, aha, yeah, suck it, dude. And I'm like, Yeah, so you're definitely paying those taxes then, right?
He's probably going to federal prison now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that works, but I don't think just because you signed on the dotted line there that you can just blow up your end of the deal immediately.
Well, technically, if he had agreed to the deal, now the guy would probably write that Graboid was government property. So destroyed government property.
Yeah, he probably was screwed either way on it, or at least for like an endangered species. Yeah, and then Jamie Kennedy and what's her face share a really horrible kiss. That Bert really encourages for whatever reason, and then he compares the kiss to guns because that's what Bert does.
Except that also seemed phallic, and I wasn't sure.
But he also says like, "I know not to unholster my gun, well, unless I'm going to mean to use it."
I don't.
Which I was like, wait a minute, I thought you were comparing guns to kissing via mouths, but now you're making it sound like dicks, and I'm getting lost in the euphemism.
I think
for the love of God, I'm way overthinking this stupid fucking line. The credits just better pop up at this point, or I'm just gonna kill myself.
We were fixated on this because it's like, wait, does he want to kiss her, or is he saying he was going to literally force her to give him a blowjob?
Me and Travis were shy, like a hair's breadth away from getting diagrams and a fucking dry erase board to try and figure this fucker out before we realized we've been driven insane by this movie. This movie has driven us insane because we're trying to figure out this nonsensical dialogue that encaps the movie, and there's just no making sense of it.
He's like, you don't bring a 44, or he's like, well, you're supposed to bring your 44, and you brought a 22, and oh my god, it was like
a 30-06 maybe, like maybe it's a 30-odd.
So many numbers. I'm so confused. And so then she has to kiss him not once, but twice. Ugh.
Gross. I'd get tested.
For that graboid parasite.
Yeah. Boy, that was just disappointing. Yeah, anything we also want to cover in the spoiler section? Anybody else?
No.
No?
I got nothing.
Let credits roll, please.
Yeah, we're gonna let it burn on this one. Now I'm just thinking of, like, this movie probably has driven someone insane, and they're trying to figure out some of these lines of dialogue via strings, like red strings on the board, and just trying to lead back.
Pictures.
It all comes back to the Cubs hat. The Cubs hat is what started it all. It just... Oh, boy.
That's a more entertaining description than this movie.
Well, thanks again, Patience, for coming on with us and reviewing this movie.
I'm like 2 for 2 right now, man. I'm gonna have to step my game up. I really have to step it up.
Well, I'll tell you what. The next one won't be your pick, but we are gonna have you on for the Deep Blue Sea review. All right?
Oh yeah, which is my favorite.
And depending on that should be our next one up after this. We should record that one pretty soon. And then that one should be the next one available. But again, our recording schedule is going to be a little bit weird, so don't quote me on that. It might not be concrete. But as far as I know now, that's the plan: is Deep Blue Sea.
I just want your listeners to know I really do have good taste in movies most of the time.
I find that questionable.
To be fair, we are also limited to Netflix.
I feel like the stats don't bear that out, but. I will take your word on it as your friend.
It's just that Patience actually is trying to kill us through Netflix, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Travis has discovered my plan.
No, we all know you're going to try killing us through camping, Patience. That's the real goal.
Aww.
Oh boy. Okay, so, with that, I think we can say goodnight, everybody. I hope your graboids are grabby and your ass blasters are ass blastery. And you catch us at our next Netflix and Kill. And until then, we are on Apology Geek Out, and we're out.
Actually, wait. One last thing.
Okay.
Whether we record this or not, I do just want to read the plot synopsis for The Scorpion King, Book of Souls.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The Scorpion King...
Wait on me.
The Scorpion King teams up with a female warrior named Tala, who is the sister of the Nubian king. Together, they search for a...
Wait!
I'm not done yet.
No. Hard stop. Did you just say the word Nubian king? Okay, yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Go forward.
Together, they search for a legendary relic known as the Book of Souls, which will allow them to put an end to an evil warlord.
That is great. Very progressive that he teams up with a female warrior that doesn't even have a fucking name.
Tala. I said the name.
Oh, did you say the name?
I said the name.
Man, I lost it immediately. I am so sorry.
Oh, man. And this is the same director that made Tremors A Cold Day in Hell. This is going to be fun. Putting that on my list right now.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's how she found it in the first place.
Yeah, that's right. That's how we got on the topic. I'm too tired for this movie.
Go to bed, Nick. Just go to bed.
Well, you know what? We will live free, and or failing that, we're gonna die well. That's for sure. I can't believe I remember that fucking quote from Scorpion King, but here we are in fucking 2018. Me quoting Scorpion King on a fucking Tremors 6 review. That's where my life's at. So it can only go up from here.
It's a high point. High point indeed.
It's just that the 5 of them, wow, baffles me. Okay, goodbye, everybody.